Today I've assembled a team of normal devs, but they lose a starter after every loss. Now the starter we lose is going to be randomly picked from this wheel. Hopefully we don't have to use it and we go undefeated, but chances are that's not going to happen. You'll notice we have 2 wide receivers and 2 cornerbacks on the wheel, since we have 2 starters on the field for those positions at the very least. Now once a starter is lost, we add another normal dev to that position, but of course there'll be a lower overall because I've already assembled the highest overall normal devs possible. Now in game number 1, Kirk Cousins is going to be leading the way for us. Stafford
at QB2,
Geno Smith
at QB3.
We begin with Raheem Mostert at running back 1 with James Conner and Jaylen Warren. Fullback, we start with CJ Ham. Our wide receivers are Adam Thielen, Kendrick Bourne, Curtis Samuel, Nico Collins, and Josh Reynolds. We start with Hayden Hurst at tight end 1, Mercedes Lewis, and Jake Ferguson. Connor Williams at center, Zeitler to the right of him, Tyler Smith to the left of him, along with Cam Robinson, Morgan Moses at right tackle. Offense is really solid, 85 overall, defense a little bit better. Hopefully we can avoid landing on MLB if we end up losing, because then we would have to get rid of Bobby Wagner. But we have a nice MLB too if that ends up happening. Jawan Bentley. Right out we have Quincy Williams, Jelani Tavai behind him, Clowney on the left side, Marquise Bell behind him, Danico Autry on the D-line with Daquan Jones, Osao Digizua, and Zach Sealer at left end. Carl Granderson behind him with Obanaya Okoronkwo. Deron Bland set the record for the most pick sixes in the season, and they still left him at normal dev. That's kind of crazy, but that's good for us. He's going to be our CB1. On the other side, we have DJ Reed Jr., CB3 Darius Williams, Teron Johnson, and Steven Nelson. Free safety Malik Hooker. Behind him, Geno Stone, Kareem Jackson, and Jaron Kearse as strong safety. Punter, we have Ryan Stonehouse. And credit to EA for recognizing Jake Elliott has arguably been the second best kicker in the league. That's where they have him, right behind Justin Tucker. But he could be off the team if we lose and we land on a kicker. When it comes to our wheel, let's get this season started. Week 1, they're up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they start off with a dominant win, 31-0. Cannot ask for a better start than that on both sides of the football. Kirk Cousins with a nice game, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Defense forced 2 turnovers from Baker, had 5 sacks on him. Connor got a rushing touchdown, Mostert 4 yards a carry. We could easily get our first loss of the season though, against the Philadelphia Eagles, who scored 52 in week 1. Good news is they only scored 37 on us. The bad news is we only scored 7. Complete 180 to what happened in game 1. We could not stop the running game or the passing game for that matter, and then their defense was shutting us down. So for the first time in the video, we have to spin the wheel, and we're gonna lose one of our starters. Oh, that was almost the quarterback, but it's just the punter. So Ryan Stonehouse is no longer on the team. Tommy Townsend, next man up, and we're on to week 3. Looking to bounce back against the 1-1 Chargers, who still have a really good offense. Another loss. This one was a little bit closer, but our defense is letting teams put up 400 plus yards of offense. Herbert destroyed us. Almost had a perfect passer rating. 3 touchdowns, no picks. Didn't sack him once. Eckler had 5 plus yards a carry. All right, here we go. Punter stays on the wheel. Yes, once we land on a position, we can land on that position again. And we almost do. Only a few away as we land on the free safety position. So Malik Hooker, whose morale is already down, is now down and out of the lineup. Geno Stone moves to free safety 1. And the next highest normal dev free safety is Derek Forrest. Let's check in on our QB1. Yeah, we've struggled a lot, but I don't think it's on him. He's not the reason we lost 37-7. Like, I don't want to put it on one player. Gotta beat the Panthers. We lose 3 in a row. The morale will be at an all-time low, and we have the Chiefs next week. We desperately need this W. We lose again, 20-23. Another close loss, but a loss nonetheless. We actually outgained them and had way more first downs. Turnover battle was even, and we had more third down conversions. I don't know where we went wrong. Well, okay, yeah, I do. Red zone. They converted on 100% of their chances. We converted on 33. That's what it came down to. Kirk got sacked 5 times. He had a good game, but not a great one. James Conner, 9 yards a carry just about. Mostert had 5 yards a carry, so I'm not panicking about the run game. I just need us to do better in the red zone. Otherwise, this could be a very long season. All right, time to spin for another starter that we're gonna lose. It's been punter and free safety. Will it finally be offense? No. Left outside linebacker. Jadeveon Clowney from first overall pick to released. Marquise Bell now the starter at left out. And if you're still watching the video and you haven't liked it yet, boy, what are you you doing? Hit that button. Boye Mafe, our new backup left outside linebacker. The morale on the team is going lower and lower, but our overalls are still the same. That could change if we lose in week 5 to the 1-3 Chiefs. They're also struggling. Kinda want to see what this team is looking like out there. Only one really bad loss on the season so far, and that was to Philadelphia. Everything else has been a very close game or a win. I gotta take a look at the rankings after this game, but I think we're doing okay. And as I say that, Travis Kelce gets a huge gain. Mahomes, all kinds of time. Actually, I spoke too soon. Daquan Jones with the sack. Uh-oh, Mahomes getting hit as he throws it. It doesn't matter. Rashee Rice with the reception. I don't like the free release from Travis Kelce. Mahomes going right to him. What were we thinking? Leaving one of the best tight ends wide open. And there's the touchdown pass to Kadarius Toney. Defense not looking too good. Maybe it was just a bad start, okay? Offense now in a hole, however. They have to move down the field and try to keep pace. Oh, here comes the blitz. And they leave someone wide open. Cousins finds his receiver. We're across midfield. Thanks to Kendrick Bourne. Man coverage again. Kirk Cousins throws a little bit behind his receiver. He tried to go back to Bourne, but instead he throws it straight to Trent McDuffie. Now, he normally does not make those mistakes, at least during this season, but it had us in a 2-possession hole. Luckily, we strike back in the second quarter, only down 1 possession heading to the third. We take the lead late in the third, but the Chiefs take it back in the fourth. Tie game. However, we have to punt the football. We're losing a turnover battle by 1, and now they're going to have a chance to win this game. Kansas City starting with the ball at their own 31, but it's a quick 3 and out. Let's go. Does Kirk Cousins have a game-winning drive in him? 2 timeouts left, a minute 15. And why are we running the football? What's going on, man? Do we have to fire the coach mid-season? I mean, it is ridiculous. 2-minute drill and you're running the football. Next play is a pass. At this point, a tie would be good because then we won't lose any players. For that to happen, we would have to go through overtime without any team scoring any points. The Chiefs get ball first in OT. They're in a 3rd down and forever. They end up having to punt. So now we win the game with just a field goal. Kirk moving the ball really well. I spoke too soon. 3rd and 15. We don't get it. We punt the ball and now it's next score wins. Kansas City finally across midfield. They're in scoring range and they end up catching the W. We're 1-4 on the season and about to lose our 4th starter. I hate having to do this, but when in doubt, you already know. Like, if you play Madden franchise, you know what you have to do, man. We have to change our playbook. I'd rather do it too soon than too late. And now we have to choose another starter that we're going to have to lose, man. Our team is falling apart. It's going to be another defensive player. Back-to-back left outside linebackers. First, we lose Clowney. Now we lose Marquise Bell. We replace him with a young, hungry Tuli Tuipulotu. Hopefully, that's the spark we need to invigorate our defense. Entering week number 6 up against division rival Chicago. This one might be a loser leaves town match. We got a breakout D lineman. If we hit this game day goal, Granderson is going to become star dev, and then we would have to get rid of him. So low-key, I'm hoping he does not make it happen, but we still get the W somehow. Let's see if we can do it. We lose again, 13-10, and Carl Granderson achieved the dev trade upgrade. We got the XP, so that's a good thing, but we don't have to spin the wheel for this loss. Carl Granderson can no longer be on the team since he's now star dev. Obanayo Okoronkwo becomes starting right end, and Dietrich Wise Jr. will hopefully bring some wisdom to this normal dev defense. Another tough matchup against the 3rd best offense in the league, the San Francisco 49ers. Even after changing to the Cowboys playbook, we're still taking L's. All right, let's spin for the next starter we're going to lose. Now, 1-6 is not a death sentence. We've seen the Broncos come back from 1-5, so it's possible, but we're gonna have to do it without our starting quarterback. Kirk Cousins no longer QB1. Matt Stafford's turn to see what he can do. Jordan Love next man up at quarterback with normal dev. Offense finally loses a player, and it's at the most important position, so maybe that's the change we needed. Playing against the team with the 1st seed in our division, the Green Bay Packers. We lose this one, season might be a wrap though. 24-17, another loss. Stafford 2 touchdowns, 2 picks in his first game, 70% completion percentage. But you gotta take care of that football, man. Run game looking horrendous. 2 yards a carry for Raheem Mostert. Didn't get James Conner any touches on the ground. Thielen had 2 touchdowns, but it was not enough. This team is not looking good at all. And they want me to view weekly awards. Deron Bland got an interception, so at least someone's doing their part. Knowing our luck, we're gonna land on quarterback during this wheel spin. I just know something like that's gonna happen. Okay, not quite. We're going to strong safety. Kareem Jackson, gone. Terrell Edmonds, our new backup strong safety. A bad coach would sit back and do nothing and just let his team fall apart. A good coach has to switch things up, okay? Clearly something's not working, so we have to change up something. We're gonna switch to a 3-4, and we're gonna switch the defensive playbook to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Those two things might not make a difference. If we can't beat the 2-6 Falcons, we don't deserve to make it to the playoffs. Our first W since week 1, 21-15. Stafford didn't have the best game, but he didn't have the worst one either. Like, he did okay. Mostert, 3.6 yards a carry, but he did have a touchdown. Nico Collins, there you go. Feels good to get a win. Now, can we do it in back-to-back games up against the 2-7 Saints? We have a very soft schedule right now. We have to take advantage of it and start racking up W's. And that's exactly what we're doing. 35-21 on a nice 2-game winning streak. Stafford turned the football over, but the team is winning. So, I mean, hey, as long as we keep on winning, it should not matter. Thielen and Collins, our 1-2 punch, going crazy on defense. Bobby Wagner getting to the quarterback along with Quincy and Okoronkwo. Let's see the trench boost. He was able to throw at will. Yes, sir. O-line killing it. The amount of sacks you allow will determine how much XP each O-lineman earns. Stafford's not the most mobile quarterback, so I'm a little bit nervous heading into this game against the Broncos. We both have 3 wins. Hopefully, we're the team that ends up with 4. Unfortunately, we're back to our losing ways. 27-24. Back-to-back games without allowing a sack is dope, though. That is really good. So the O-line earns 10,000 XP. But also, this team has earned themselves another lost starter. It's going to end up being a defensive tackle. Daquan Jones, move over. It's Osai Odighizuwa's time to start. Alan McNeil, welcome to the D-tackle 2 position. One more loss and our season's pretty much over. So we have to go ahead and win this game against the Bears. We have to win out if we want to have any chance of making the playoffs. I don't think we can make it if we go 8-9. Like, we have to go 9-8. 1 W down, 28-7. We beat the Bears. Arguably our best game since week 1. Stafford, no turnovers, no sacks given up. Mostert, 68 yards and a touchdown. Nico Collins, when he eats, the team does well. We should keep on going to him as much as possible. Wagner had an INT. Same with Bentley. We got lucky we have not lost an MLB yet. Hopefully we don't lose any other players at all. Let's sim past our bye week up against the 2-10 Raiders. Like, come on, bro. If we don't beat them, we don't deserve playoffs. Once again, 41-38. They made it tough, but we got the W by any means necessary, I guess. They outgained us. Jimmy G had an almost perfect game. 342 yards, 4 touchdowns, man. What is up with our defense? Struggling badly. Raheem, 80 yards and a touchdown. Connor, 2 touchdowns. Nico Collins again. I'm telling you, that's our secret weapon. We go to him, good things happen every single time. 2.5 sacks for Sealer. Quincy had 1.5. Okoronkwo had 1. Great job getting to the quarterback. Unstoppable force and a hot opponent. Oh no. 2 things you don't want to see heading into any matchup. 3 sacks is doable. That's why we went with constant pressure, because as you saw in the last game, Sealer, Okoronkwo and company, we could definitely get to the quarterback. Plus 10 break tackle, play rec, and tackle for this game. You love to see it. Another must win for the normal devs to stay alive in the playoff race. 14-17, we end up losing. Very tough loss against the Bengals, man. We held our own against a really good team. Just could not pull out the W, and that pretty much ends our chances at making it to the postseason. Hold on, wait a minute. I don't think we're out of it just yet. Look at the Packers in the 7th seed. We're only 1 game behind them at 5-9. Now, we do have to lose another player, but we still have a chance to make it. You may not need to be above 500 to squeak into the playoffs. Morale stays up. That's a beautiful sign. Let's see the unstoppable force. Were we able to get enough sacks? Nah, I don't think we were. Okay, -5 morale. That's tough. And what's even tougher is now we have to spin the wheel again and lose yet another starter. Our 9th one of the video. It's gonna be a wide receiver. Adam Thielen. I'm sorry, bro. Nico Collins, our new wide receiver 1. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, our new wide receiver 5. A loss here would be really devastating against division rival Detroit. Only a few games left. We need this. Unfortunately, we could not make it happen. 24-14. Jared Goff and Stafford both had good games. Montgomery and Gibbs both killed it on the ground though. Raheem Mostert, less than 4 yards a carry again. Nico, 7 for 79. Packers still in the 7th seed. This is a terrible conference. Somehow we're still not out of it, and we're 5-10. Not to mention we play the Packers in week 17, so we still kind of control our own destiny. But once again, we have to spin this wheel and lose yet another starter. This time, gonna be the tight end, Hayden Hurst. He's been doing pretty well for us. Very underrated tight end, but we gotta get rid of him. Mercedes Lewis, next man up, 71 speed. Will Dissly, our new tight end 3. And it all comes down to this. If we don't win this game, our season is over. Let's go! 34-7. Our best win since week 1 comes at the most crucial time. Defense with a masterclass, allowing less than 200 yards. Stafford, flawless game. Mostert, 57 yards on the ground. Connor, 2 touchdowns. Nico Collins, 5 for 72. Samuel had a touchdown. Mercedes Lewis as the new starting tight end, caught 2 touchdowns. Now here's what the playoff situation's looking like. Packers still on the tiebreaker, and they're not even in the playoffs. The Commanders are currently the 7th seed. We're the 10th seed in the conference, and I can't even be mad. We have not been playing well. We need a lot of help to get to the playoffs. The Bears play the Packers, so one of them's gonna win, which means we have no shot at making the playoffs unless they somehow tie. So we're gonna sim to the wild card week, knowing that we will not make it to the postseason. Wait a minute, we won and we made it. How? What in the world? What? I'm as shocked as you are. I thought the season was over. I really thought the season was over. So we won the game, obviously. Let me show you. There's no forced wins. I was firmly ready to go ahead and end the video. Look at this. Stafford, another good game. Mostert, almost 5 yards a carry, had a touchdown. Amon-Ra went crazy against us, but there's Kendrick Bourne, a touchdown on 10 receptions. You got to take a look at the standings. All right, the Lions end up with the 4 seed. Giants, Bucks, and us. Somehow we had the tiebreaker over the Packers. I know we beat them once, and then the Bears lost. Commanders lost. One more look at it, man, so you can see there's no forced wins, nothing. Yeah, the Packers won their game. Obviously, the Commanders, they ended up losing. Now, I'm going to go back and look at our schedule. We must have beat the Packers twice. No, we tied 1-1. I guess the tiebreaker was conference record. I'm trying to see what would be the first tiebreaker. Let's see. We had more home wins. We had the same amount of division wins, 3-3. So we tied in division. I guess the next one would be the NFC wins, and we had one more. So we squeak into the playoffs at 7-10. So the good news is we have a playoff game. Somehow, after that horrendous start to the season, we are in there, and we don't have to lose any more players, because once we lose, season's over. The bad news is we're playing against the San Francisco 49ers, 3rd best offense in the league, best run game. Matt Stafford, 21 touchdowns, 8 picks, not too shabby. Raheem had a 1,000-yard season, had some up and down games, but hey, at the end of the day, he did it really well. 8 touchdowns. Connor had 11. Curtis Samuel almost had 1,000 yards receiving, 6 touchdowns. Him and Nico tied in that category. MVS with 7 touchdowns. He came to the team halfway through, so that might have been the spark we needed. Bourne, Mercedes, Mostert, Dissly all caught touchdowns. Bobby Wagner, we're so lucky we did not lose him. He killed it, had the most tackles. Okoronkwo, 13.5 sacks to lead everyone, 9 for Sealer. Wagner, 4.5, 3rd on the team, and he had the most INTs. He better be in the running for best linebacker. 2 forced fumbles and a fumble recovery. Jake Elliott only missed 1 kick on the season and 2 extra points. As for MVP, it goes to Dak Prescott. We had nobody in the top 10. Don't expect us to be anywhere near any awards. Wait a minute. Okoronkwo at 5th for DPOY. Wagner in the top 10. Best QB, Stafford ends up 6th. No one in the top 10 for best running back. As for lineman, nope, nobody again. Okoronkwo, 5th best defensive lineman in the NFC. Wagner, 4th best linebacker. Hoping to see some blitzes, some trickeration on offense. Like, just, I want us to play loose. Like, come on, we got to play loose. If we're going to have any chance to beat this team. Big 3rd and 2, chance to hold them to a field goal. After this phenomenal drive, check up the gut, nowhere to go. Jawan Bentley, with the tackle. Chase Young and Bosa ready to get to the quarterback. O-line cannot stop them from getting in. Stafford goes down. We're going to have to punt the ball. I'm a little bit nervous. I am very nervous. Luckily, we stopped them on their next drive, but we don't get any points until the third quarter. They answer back with a touchdown. Tied game in the fourth. Now we're down 3. With 1 minute and 9 seconds left, we have 1 timeout, and we're already just about in field goal range. Remember, we have Jake Elliott. We luckily did not lose our kicker, so we were already in field goal range. Now we're definitely in field goal range. After that laser from Stafford, Shanahan's gonna ice him. Now, Jake does not have abilities, so that could have affected him if it was a little bit farther out. Luckily, it's almost an extra point, and we're tied up. Straight to overtime we go, unless the Niners can move down the field. And no, not only that, but they end up kicking off in overtime. But the overtime rules in the playoffs are both teams will possess the ball. So even if we score a touchdown, they will have a chance to answer back with a touchdown of their own. Look at this drive we have going. Stafford gets sacked in the red zone. Look at that pass to Mostert. First and goal. We score in overtime. So now all the pressure is on the Niners. They have to get a touchdown or else we're moving on to the divisional round. That's what's going to happen. Talk about resiliency for Kevin O'Connell and the normal dev team. 20-13. Stafford doing his thing in the playoffs like he did during his Super Bowl run. Somehow we held McCaffrey in check. 5 yards carry and a touchdown. Good game, not a great game. Nico Collins, touchdown. Okoronkwo has been killing it all season long. Dietrich Wise, an underrated addition we had. On to the divisional round. We have to play against the 16-1 Cowboys. It doesn't get any easier. All right, let's take a look at how this one begins. We force a quick 3 and out, and now we're moving into their territory. We get 3 points, so we strike first, and we get ball at halftime. Defense forcing back-to-back 3 and outs. Unfortunately, our offense joined the 3 and out party, and we do the same thing. They get the first touchdown of the game in the second quarter. Can we answer back with some more points? Yes, we get a field goal, but I don't think that's going to cut it against an offense as good as Dallas. Less than 2 minutes left in the first half. We're moving down the field again. This time we get our touchdown, and we take the lead heading into half number 2. Actually, no, they do. Unfortunately, we missed our extra point, so we can't even go into the third quarter tied up at 14. But it's still a close game. That's all that really matters, man. Keeping it close at the end. Stafford does his thing when it's a very close game, so I'm not worried. We're only down 4 in the fourth quarter. Defense needs to hold them to 3 at the very least. No, they get a touchdown. They're up 2 possessions. Now it's not looking good. Only 2 timeouts remaining. Less than 2 minutes left in the game. They're going to the run. Pollard up the gut. That's probably the dagger. Still ended up being a fun season after a horrendous start. I think we were what, like 1-7 at one point? To go from that to making the playoffs and beating the Niners is a miracle in and of itself. And I'm not going to consider it an L, even though we took a lot of L's during the season and lost a lot of starters. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Can we please get to 1,000 likes? I think we can do that. If we do that, I'll come back and do this with the star devs and make it into a little mini series. Thanks for watching to the end. I'll see you on the next one.